Hello, my name is Irina. I am representing Total in Russia. We are clients of Steelcase. Thank you, Serena. And my question, maybe I will challenge you a little, because this question I think is in head of each and every manager, at least in Russia. Because when we are talking about free collaboration, about comfortable zones, sometimes we haven't had some doubts that people will feel more relaxed and will devote themselves to work less. When we have a relaxed zone, a relaxed atmosphere to collaborate, people tend to talk, like to have social chats and not work chats. And the same for other places but work. I don't deny your concept, no, but it's just a thing that is in head. For example, even when we had a thing that to let people go out to have lunch, managers had in mind that, okay, that would take hours and not 1 hour or less. So do you have any statistics about the work efficiency increase or decrease? Or maybe did you make any surveys about the, I don't know, how does it work in different countries or something like this? Thank you.
So I would reply to this question in two ways. The first one, data. Yes, we have a lot of research. We have research about the fact that overall, 75% of the conversations, of the time spent talking at the coffee machine is about work. So you may have a chit-chat, but the data shows that 75% of the conversation are about work. The other important data is that more than 80, if I'm not wrong, more than a lot, of the best ideas and problem solving happens when you talk to someone else. So if you are by yourself, you send an email to a colleague who is sitting 3 decks or on the other floor, it takes much longer than if you simply have the possibility to sit with him. A lot of time it happens, you cross a colleague in a corridor, for example, and then he said, oh, did you see my email? Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't have time to reply. We should catch up. Yes, but we are in the corridors, there's no place to sit. Okay, well, I'll call you. Now, the opportunity is gone. If in that moment people would have had the possibility to say, oh yeah, you're right, well, let's sit 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you are much more effective than with overall emailing and conversation. So there are a lot of data, and there are also quite some data on cross-cultural differences, because we are different. So you can't design a space like you do in the US for Russia. It won't work. So there is a book called Office Code, which analyzes, based on the Hofstede study, the cross-cultural differences. It includes Russia. And there you can see how the cultural differences influence workspace design. And I can send you a copy of it. It's also available on the internet. So you can see how the fact that Russia are more hierarchical, but also very social, can affect workplace design compared to, for example, Italy. I'm Italian, very hierarchical. Or Holland, where you have a floor plan, you don't understand where the manager is sitting because he doesn't have a desk. So how cross-cultural differences influence workspace design. It's very interesting. The second answer I would give is that there is not one recipe. So I'm not saying that we should all do this. Normally, workspace design is always a combination of 3 things. The first one is the culture you belong to, the country. We are Russian, I'm Italian, I'm in England. The second thing is the industry you're part of. If you're a service company or if you're a banking, you won't have the same space because you work in a different way. And the third bubble is, what's your company culture? What do you want to push people? How do you want them to behave? How important collaboration is compared to formal meetings. So the intersection of the 3 will give you the right answer to where you should stay. You should try, and normally you never achieve that in a step. It's always in phases. So you move, you change, and you go through steps that take time. You have to bring people with you there and work a lot with HR to change the company culture, work with IT to enable people to use the space in a right way. So change management is really an important part in the process because it's not only about space. Hope that answered your question.
My name is Luba, and I work for a Swedish construction and development company, NCC. It's one of the largest in the Northern Europe.
And we actually, inside our company, we developed similar concepts about the future trends, future office, and so on. For you both, for two speakers, I have a couple of questions, so you may answer them. The one question maybe it's for you, Arnie. First, you were talking about most of the presentation was about people, and you didn't mention any company or industry. Do you know which industries are not included or are not satisfying those principles of activity-based working? I think it's important for us also to know the limits, because probably not every company, not every professional field can be put in such circumstances. And the second question is probably mostly for you. You were talking about free working environment and so on and so on. Do you know to which extent can managers let people be on their own? Because it's a question of trust, management trust, the company's culture, and so on. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your question. Very good. And my colleague and I are on the same track, I believe. In regards to companies that are not involved with the thought that they're about their people and the way they work, I believe that's what you were asking. Every company has to be involved about people. I mean, people and the way they work relates to productivity, and productivity relates to profits, and that's what most companies are all about. If you're not taking care of your people, you are not going to be productive, and it's not going to last very long. I just read an article, it's out very recently by Yahoo, I forget her name right now, but the new president from Yahoo is a woman, and she's talking about the office and taking care of people and the way they work in the office, and she feels they're not doing, a company like Yahoo are not doing enough for their people at this point in time, and it has an adverse effect on the company. So they're going to be concentrating more on how to make the people more comfortable in the office, in the way they work and the way they're working, so that they actually respond to the needs of the people and thereby get more productivity in the office. I hope that responds to you, but everybody has to be concerned about people, and if they're not, it's a big issue.
Arnie, I think I'll cut in here, and I think I will redefine the question a little bit, because I don't think that was the answer to the question put. I think the question more refers to, okay, we're talking about mobile working, we're talking about activity-based. Yeah? What companies can work with that concept and what industries cannot? Is there a study, percentage-wise? I mean, if we're talking about all the industries who have offices, not just workers in the factory or on the construction site, companies who have offices, out of all these companies, has there ever been a study, and maybe that's a question to you and to you, has there ever been a study, percentage-wise, how many office workers can really work in a mobile environment?
I think, I don't know of a study myself in this, but I mean, if you go by activity, obviously it'll make a difference. If you're in a call center, it's not going to be an activity-based office. I mean, a call center is a specific job that you're coming in to do, and you have to be sitting at a desk. I think in that case, you're trying to make that place more ergonomic and in the way they work. But I think it depends more on the activity that the people are doing rather than the type of company. In any general office, open office, an activity-based office, in my opinion, can work. But on activity-based, like a call center or an activity like that, you can't apply it.
Thank you.
Yes, there are many studies, but it's all a lot of blah, blah, blah. You know, it's questionable. And why? Because potentially you can work anywhere, any place, whatever you're doing. But concretely, it depends on the activity, but it also depends on who you are, really. It's the company culture. It's about trust, it's about working with the employees, but that's why HR are so important in the process, because it really depends who you want to be as an organization. And I make two examples. One is Yahoo. It was a lot on the press because they were completely counter-trending. So they came up and said, From now on, everybody in the office every day. A lot of debate. Oh, you are prehistoric, it's not the new world. But why? Because the challenge of Yahoo is that they are not innovative enough. They are not competitive enough, and they don't work together enough. So, easy reading, but the thinking behind is that they want people to be together, to have great ideas. So they put them back in the office so that they can collaborate. So that's where it comes from. And second example is Vodafone. They sell hardware and software for mobile phones and mobile devices. So if you leave your brand and if you want to promote what you stand for, you can't tell people, well, we sell these, but that's the outside world. You come to the office and you have a fixed laptop. No, you have to be mobile. You have to drink your own champagne. You have to stand up and be who you are. So at the end, it depends who you are as a company, what are your goals. And then this is the main core of a company. And out of this will be an HR policy, will be, because then you can also attract the right people. You know, a big example is also Microsoft. They were the first one in the Netherlands many years ago adopting extreme mobility because that's what they stand for. But they stepped back a little bit from that because the young were really lost. They didn't know who to ask. It was too extreme. So you need to see who you are, what you want to go for, and out of this make a strategy that really combines together HR, IT, and real estate management. If they work together in the right direction, then you have a good mix and you will have an answer that is the right one for that company. If they all go for separate strategies, it will not work.
Я так понимаю, и вчера, да, вопросы, в общем-то, ответы на вопросы сводились к тому, и сегодня, да, ответы сводятся к тому, что необходимо изучить, да, необходимо изучить свою компанию. То, что будет эффективно для одной компании, для другой компании будет неэффективно. Я предлагаю перейти ко второй части нашей презентации. И вот вчера, когда мы говорили про эффективность офисного пространства, планировочные решения, новые способы работы, это была одна сторона медали. Вторая сторона медали – это была эффективная работа сотрудников. И эффективная работа сотрудников во многом зависит от того, какие материалы используются в офисе, какое освещение в офисе.